John Mateer and the Oklahoma Sooners, 18 ranked in the country before this game against number 13 Michigan, take out the Wolverines by double digits, beating them 24-13. This was the announcement to the college football world that John Mateer has arrived, and he has truly elevated this program to heights we haven't seen since the last time they made the college football playoff. Now, Oklahoma with Mateer is such a level of dynamic ability with his ability to extend plays. He's not looking to run. You can obviously design the plays to run with his athleticism, but you can clearly see he's got his eyes downfield. He's looking for Deion Burks, the kid that did not get an offer from Michigan, even though he grew up in Eastern Michigan, and the kid goes off in this game, 101 yards and a touchdown. Mateer's ability to scramble, keeping his eyes downfield. He breaks a sack there in the third quarter, rolls right on the run, finds his man down the field for a huge gain. That was a close game at that point, remember, and then Oklahoma is able to pull away a little bit more after that run from Justice Haynes. I mean, that was really it. It was 14-0 half. Justice Haynes breaks it for 75 yards. Michigan fans are excited. Oklahoma goes 3-and-out immediately. Michigan, though, gets the ball and punts it right back to the Oklahoma Sooners. I believe that Michigan has something, though, in Bryce Underwood. A lot of people were down on this performance, doing some weird comparisons to Arch Manning and how he performed against Ohio State. Now, those are comparable defenses, obviously elite defenses for the Buckeyes and the Sooners, but Michigan has an elite quarterback. He may not be top 5 in college football right now, or maybe top 10 because experience is so important, but the traits that he has, he's 6'4", 225 pounds, and he moves fluidly. You can see it in this game. I thought that they were going to run him a little bit more, right? They kept trying to kind of powered it inside, trying to straight drop him back. He went 9 of 24 passing. I'd be saying 9 of 24. Like, Josh, he didn't throw that well. He wasn't accurate. He was 9 of 24. Did you see anyone open in this game? Did you see anyone? There was no one for him to throw the ball to all night. He didn't have Klein, his number one target, his best tight end. The outside continues to be a problem for Michigan. Even when they had Rowan Wilson that year with J.J. McCarthy, it was Wilson and it was Colston Loveland, and it was the best run game in football with Donovan Edwards and Blake Corum. That was Michigan, and playing fantastic defense. All of those NFL players, 13 guys drafted, that's what they had. It wasn't a great receiving core. Besides, I'm not including Colston Loveland as a receiver, obviously receiving core. But Michigan, for some reason, doesn't know how to bring in wide receivers. It's not enough. In this game, I know McCauley went for 91 yards. But this needs to be solved. I don't know what drills you can run so these guys can get more open, what hill sprints that you can run, or maybe it's just too late. You immediately have to shift your game plan against better teams that they're playing on this schedule. They're lucky for the next game they play. They got Central Michigan, but at Nebraska, at USC, Washington, and then the Buckeyes at the end of the year. I mean, you still got 4 very tough games of Michigan to play against teams that are going to be able to score and keep up with you, that can get pressure on the quarterback, that have relatively good coverages, that are well coached. And Bryce Underwood just has to be able to get. So you got to find a way to get some elite pass catchers. That's what we saw early. I mean, that's already what you can see. Michigan's ceiling is so much lower than what Oklahoma's is. Even though Bryce Underwood may have a higher ceiling than John Mateer, and is like Brett Favre, Phillip Rivers-esque sort of combination of the two, just gutsy, tough. That delivery he's got, he's just a pure gunslinger. It's funny that the Sooners have a gunslinger like that there in Oklahoma. It just makes sense. You're going to have the Red River shootout in a couple of weeks. But on the sense of Michigan, their identity has to be similar to what it's been the last couple of years. I want to see, even if we can get Bryce Underwood under center, like change that up, make it look a lot more like the J.J. McCarthy offense from a few years ago, because it is evident that if you have him back there and Marshall or Justice Haynes lined up next to him, that they're just not going to have good enough pass protection for him to stay back there in the pocket. They got him rolling out to the right, get him rolling out to the left, get him a quick 3-step drop, ball out to the tight end, to the outside. because these guys just aren't getting open. So that's immediately the takeaways. Oklahoma's got a great defense. I know we're being a bit harsh on Michigan here, but they have such a talented team elsewhere besides that spot. And I got to say to this point, Barham missing the first half. I mean, come on. If you're an Oklahoma fan even, you were fine if Barham were out there. I mean, the guy's making a play. They take away the touchdown. It's called for targeting. It plays a major impact in this game because he's not on the field for the first half. Get rid of the ejection and the suspension for the next half of the game. It doesn't belong in the sport anymore. It would have been the same result. Really still believe that. But that rule, there should be two different categories. I'm not going to get into that much, but two categories. If it's really egregious, get the guy out of there, kick him out. But if he's making a football play, they can stay in the game. That was upsetting. That he's a very good football player, and you just want to see a good football players going up against good football players. An opportunity against Oklahoma in the first half. Back to Oklahoma's passing attack and their wide receiver core, because we saw a good ability week one. Mateer threw for over 300 yards, a couple of touchdowns. You saw the mobility, but you didn't see the mobility to this point. 19 carries, 74 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, and that helps out the receiving core. Jaron with 70 yards in this game. We saw Lewis 35. Like, he got the ball to 6 different receivers. Balanced. He did have the interception. That was the only knock. He threw it over the middle. It was in the second quarter. And it's clear that John Mateer is a fiery guy. He gets excited. You can tell that actually makes him a little bit better. He's amped up. He brings that juice. He brings that energy. But when you're throwing over the middle of this isn't my words. This is Urban Meyer. I'm going to take this from. I'm not stealing it. I'm giving him credit. But Urban Meyer said, you're juiced up. Throws over the middle of the field. If they're high, they're intercepted. If it's on the outside, it's incomplete. Obviously, you can throw over the middle of the field, but that's something to be wary of. A juiced-up guy like John Mateer in big games, maybe trying to game plan around not throwing the ball over the middle until he's further established. You know, the guy's settled in, the heart rate is calmed down a little bit, and he's able to throw the ball over the middle of the field. Something to think about there. If you're that Arbuckle offensive coordinator and you're Brent Venables, that, okay, yeah, Mateer's going to be amped up. Ball might come out high. If it's high outside, it's an incompletion. Over the middle, could be picked off. Just don't want to see Oklahoma turn the ball over in a big game. They've got Auburn in a couple of weeks. They've got Texas, Red River, and after that, I mean, that schedule it's not even close. Who's tougher than in the sense of games in a row? This isn't a recap about what they have going forward or a prediction for as soon as the recap for the game, but that schedule. I mean, this was a part of it. You got to play the Michigan Wolverines, national champion a couple years ago, the number 1 recruit quarterback, and Bryce Underwood, and being able to limit him to 142 passing yards, 142. So you give up only 188 total yards to this offense. You're able to sack Underwood once. Even so, I thought the pass rush could be a little bit better, but they did have 8 tackles for loss. Michigan had 8 tackles for loss. So you saw really good defensive line play. Maybe Michigan's D-line won't get all the credit, but it was obvious early that John Mateer is an elite player. 32-27, right? The time possession was a factor for Oklahoma, able to really run out the clock there at the end. It's only a 1-possession game, but it felt like it might as well have been a 17-point game at the end of it, with Oklahoma maintaining the ball. It just felt like they were going right down the throat. And then third down. That's exactly it. Bryce Underwood's in third down all game long. It's more manageable for the Sooners. 3 of 14 on third down for Sherrone Moore's squad. 9 of 17, though, for Oklahoma, because they're in manageable spots and they're able to pick up 22 first downs on the day. And even though they had the 2 turnovers, even though they had the muff punt, they were able to control the game because they set the tone as an offense, and this receiving core just looked a lot better. They looked more dynamic. They looked faster, like they got better pass catchers than what they have on the other side for Michigan. Another point here is that it doesn't seem like Oklahoma's got one star on the defense. Like, they've got one player. It's like a Texas with Texas got a number of guys, not a good example. Like South Carolina, right? Kilgore's good in the secondary, but Dylan Stewart runs that show. Mateo Uyunglele is clearly the dominant guy for Oregon up front. maybe not Penn State as an example. They got Zane Durant and Dennis Sutton, but there's teams where you know that there's a clear number 1 or 2. This Oklahoma team, I don't know if there's someone that can tell you, like, who's the best defensive player. We've got a bunch of dudes, like 7, 8 guys that are just very good football players that get after it, high energy. That Venables defense was mixing everything up. I remember one play specifically where it looks like they've got a cover 3 look, and it rotates into cover 2, or they had the middle of the field player, almost kind of like in that Derek Brooks type role, immediately comes down and then fills to the strong side as a strong safety. That type of stuff for Underwood, he's immediately looking at safeties first. As a quarterback, your eyes are immediately looking at the safeties. He has to look at that, adjust, and then his eyes are coming back down to that safety instead of being in the right spot for the read. Really impactful stuff and tough to do. Michigan, next week, they are going to be facing Central Michigan, as we talked about. Obviously, can bounce back with a win before a Nebraska game. That's really big. That's kind of their season there. I did say previously the loser of this game will not make the college football playoff. I do stand by it. I just don't think that you can have more than 2 losses in the Big Ten and get there. With what Michigan faces, it does look like they're going to have 3 losses on the year or more. And as for Oklahoma, like, can you get into the CFP if you have 3 losses with their schedule? Maybe, but it would really help more so if they're against SEC opponents. I kind of do think you got to go 10-2 with how good the ACC looks. Not that Clemson looked good. Holy cow, that looked ugly against Troy, down 16-0. What are we doing? But Oklahoma, yeah, 10-2 gets you in. 9-3, not where you want to be. That's where Bama and South Carolina were a year ago, obviously. So they got Temple, and then they'll have Auburn. So obviously Auburn, Jackson Arnold, Falk on defense. That will be a fun matchup. So I appreciate you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more videos in the future. I really hope that you enjoyed this breakdown. Let me know down below in the comments what kind of part of the game you want me to go more in depth on. Is it the coverages, kind of what we were seeing? Is it which players are more of the standouts? Right? I know we talked about the quarterbacks a lot here. Obviously that'll happen. We talked about the coaches, a little bit of the schematics and what we were seeing out there, the general sense of Michigan and what they are as an offense, Oklahoma. So just let me know down below what you want to see in the future, and we will do our best to get it out to you. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.
Best player in college football.
That Georgia and Ohio State game, New Year's Eve, is going to be a classic.
Josh Blunder. Hi, everybody. I'm Josh Blunder.
To the 40, 35, 30, Espinoza to the 20.